Thank you for joining us for today's exciting session on the future of procurement, the AI-powered automation. I'm Surin, CEO of Maven Vista, a company committed to transforming procurement through innovation, digitization, and AI-driven solutions. With over 4 decades of experience spanning manufacturing, trading, and IT, I've had the opportunity to witness how procurement has evolved from tactical to cost savings function to a strategic enabler business growth. At Maven Vista, our deep expertise in procurement has allowed us to develop intelligent AI-powered solutions that help organizations streamline sourcing, optimize spending, and drive real business impact. AI is one of the most talked about topics today. I think we've been kind of seeing news every day, good and bad both. Yet many organizations struggle with understanding how generative AI can be effectively leveraged to unlock tangible benefits, considering that procurement accounts for 45% to 85% of the total cost of the manufacturing company. Its optimization is no longer just an option, it is an imperative. With this in mind, we've designed today a webinar to bring clarity to AI's role in procurement and explore real-world use cases that showcase how AI-powered solutions can empower and revolutionize sourcing, supplier management, and spend optimization. Our objective is to provide you with actionable insights that can help you harness AI's potential to transform procurement into high-impact function. We sincerely hope you'll find this session insightful and valuable. A few quick notes before we begin. The session duration would be approximately about 50 minutes, which includes the demo of Vendex Genie, our AI-powered tool, which will be followed by about 10 minutes of Q&A. And because of the time paucity, in case if you are unable to take any of the questions, we would be responding to those questions within 24 hours. A recording of the seminar would be available to all the participants. Now, let's dive in. And I would like to now introduce our guest of honor, Mr. Devarajan Iyengar. It's my privilege and honor to welcome him. Dev is a global leader in procurement, bringing over 22 years of extensive experience in strategic sourcing, digital transformation, and procurement leadership at Bayer AG, a $45 billion multinational organization. With a proven track record of implementing cutting-edge digital and AI-driven procurement solutions both in India as well as globally, Dev has been at the forefront of leveraging technology to drive efficiency, cost optimization, and strategic value creation in procurement. Given his deep expertise and hands-on experience in transforming procurement through AI-driven solutions, he's the perfect person to address today's highly relevant topic, the role of AI in reshaping the procurement function. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Devarajan Iyengar, the procurement genie. Over to you, Dev.
Thank you. Thank you, Surit, for that warm welcoming and also the introduction. I would say that the reason behind why you see me today and what is the history behind my association with Maven Vista and Vendex dates back to 2006. I'm very proud to say that when business complements a tech company, what comes up is magic. And this is what exactly happened way back in 2006 when Surit's Maven Vista company, along with their team, signed up with us to implement first ever in the history of Bayer across globally in 2006 to implement a digital web-enabled supplier backend end-to-end portal to optimize and digitalize the RFQ, RFI process, vendor profiling process, and also have supply chain risk management process. Now, why do I say that this is important? Because in today's aspect, this is a very historical moment for me because after 22 years, I got this opportunity to come back and share my thoughts on how the whole space has been from a procurement perspective. And I'm also eager to know from Vendex perspective, what is it that they offer to the business in driving optimization and procurement. So I would also like to equally reciprocate, Surya. I am today what I am is because of this wonderful teamwork that we both as an organization did, where I had the opportunity to collaborate with you and your team in delivering a transformational impact for my organization.
Dave, thank you very much for your kind words. The journey of Webai was truly a defining chapter in the evolution of Vendex, and we are incredibly grateful for your contribution, which was invaluable and during those formative years. Your insights and expertise played a crucial role in shaping what Vendex has become today. Given your vast experience in procurement, I can't resist asking you this. Procu- this procurement has undergone significant transformation over the past decade. In your view, how has the role of procurement evolved and where do you see it heading in the next 5 years?
And before I take that question, I would also like to not miss out saying that when we implemented this in 2006, there has to be a trust from both the organizations that whether this is something that will work, because it was an entrepreneurial investment that we were talking about. And there, I would not like to miss out the sponsorship of the head of procurement at that point of time of Bayer, which is KR Shekhar, who is also there in this picture, along with the SBR, Stefan Gerlich, who believed that we need to invest on technology as an entrepreneurial investment. And this is what I want to also not miss out to share. Coming back to Surat's question, I would say procurement has really been going through disruptive changes across years. And that's exactly what I call this as the concept of the VUCA world. I would request the next slide, please. Why do I say we are in a VUCA world? Today, there is no thing called as stabilization. We're talking about a situation where procurement professionals, every day that they walk into the office, are faced with volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Now, what is the context in which I mentioned this? Volatility with regards to commodity price fluctuations, volatility with regards to supplier market dynamics, consumer market dynamics, uncertainty related to supply chain disruptions, be it the COVID, be it the Red Sea disruptions, be it geopolitical challenges leading to wars. All these are uncertainties that you cannot anticipate. Well, at the same time, you have a complexity that you need to also safeguard your organization from a license to operate risk. And that risk from a supply chain perspective with regards to your tier one suppliers, tier two suppliers, needs to be accounted by procurement as a function. So procurement plays a very important strategic role from a supply chain risk management for the organization. At the same time, procurement also has a significant pressure on their functional cost to continue bringing efficiencies, to continue keeping it lean, and having expanded scope of responsibility at a country level or beyond the countries. So procurement is always under pressure to keep its functional cost lean. On top of all this, you have ambiguity related to disruptions in business models. Especially in the manufacturing sector, you would have business model disruptions in terms of tech and manufacturing going hand in hand, or new product areas where you have technology influencing the new products that you launch. In the services sector, as you see, business models have very short shelf life. Let's take the quick example of DeepSeek, which is significantly disrupting the tech industry today. And all that is this challenge that we as procurement professionals face. So in summary, this is the new normal that we have signed up for.
That was truly insightful, Dave. The VUCA landscape presents both challenges and opportunities, as you mentioned, and AI is undoubtedly a key enabler in navigating this complexity. Given your vast experience, could you share a real world use case where you think AI can be leveraged to create immense value in procurement?
Sure, Surad, and that's a very good question. Now, even before I give the use case, I would say that no, it all depends on how you perceive AI to be for you. Whether you're looking at it as an opportunity or whether you're looking at it as a threat. Now, let me look at use cases that we as procurement professionals come across time and again. And there are many in the call who come in this function and they could probably resonate with what I'm trying to say. And let me give you an example here. So way back in 2017, I was in my expat assignment in Germany in the Bayer headquarters, and I was
Mhm.
driving indirect procurement category spend of 250 million euros. And on that, I was driving indirect procurement category spend of 250 million euros. And on that, I was driving indirect procurement category spend of 250 million euros. And on that, I was driving indirect procurement category spend of 250 million euros. And April 2017, I was given the opportunity to say that come back and take up a site procurement leadership role in one of our manufacturing site in Vapi in Gujarat, where we manufacture complex chemistries towards the agrochemical and pharmaceutical industry, which has 150 odd material supplier clusters, 150 metal clusters, which is supplied by more than 200 supplier partners. And the landscape of the supplier partners are across China, US, Germany, India, and they have their own supply chain complexities. So time and again, you will have to do crisis management. And the question I was asked when I was supposed to take over that role was that, but you have not been into direct procurement for the last 15 years because that you did in 2003, 2004. So how are you going to manage this scenario? How will you deal with these uncertainties and disruptions? To be honest, at that point of time when I signed up for that role, I was damn scared because I had no clue what kind of disruptions will come and how I'm going to face it. On top of that, I'm not a chemist, I'm a commercial graduate. So in that context, I only know chemistry in form of the alphabetical order of A to Z, but I have no clue what goes into that chemistry. Now, when I signed up for that role, I had very strong conviction that my leadership team trusts that as a strong buyer, I drive topics with cross-functional collaboration. I drive topics with keeping the customer in the center. And in that context, they were ready to give me that risk of taking over that particular role. Now, why did I bring this up? When I took over that role and I was into that space, I was getting onboarded, I was getting integrated, I was delivering value along with my team. And the team was absolutely subject matter experts in that space. And we were absolutely able to stabilize the whole operations. But 6 months down the line, there was this aspect of impact of supply disruptions because of natural calamities in some part of the world. And when it came up, in preparation to it, I had no clue what to do. And then I'm trying to reflect this back with the people who are there in the call. This comes every second day for a procurement professional, right? Especially when you're taking up direct metal category, which has dependency on production. Imagine if there is natural calamities, logistics disruptions, but you do not have real-time data about that. You only react when somebody tells you about it. But by that time, the agility and the speed is the biggest challenge. So for me, that use case, as of today, I have not seen a kind of support in terms of technology that could enable us in driving the topic faster. And in this, I would like to present a kind of a reimagining the situation. And I would like to say that what if I come across this situation time and again? What if there is a digital enabled tool which allows me to look into this topic? Now, how do I currently react to the situation? Can you go to the next slide, please? The way I currently react to the situation when I hear that there is a downturn and there's a calamity, I would have probably read it up in a newspaper. And I would have not even known that there is an impact coming up somewhere in my supply chain. So I would have probably read it out and I would have probably slept over it. And then one fine morning, somebody would have called me from the supplier account management, and they would tell me that, look, probably you would have heard about this, that 4 weeks back, there was a impact in the US and my company's plant is under shutdown. And then what do? I panically call up my team members and I say, do you know about this topic? And they have no clue about it. Now, how do I deal with the situation? How do I know that what is that impact for my organization? What is my plan B and plan C? How do I reciprocate and react to this particular thing from a mitigation perspective? And this, from my experience, is classical crisis management that we do in day-to-day world. Reimagining the situation, if we introduce a digital enabler like AI, and assuming that if Vendex Genie as an application transforms over a period of time with these kind of use cases, imagine real-time update. The day when this particular calamity happens somewhere in the globe, and you get an alert saying that there is a calamity in this particular site, and as a consequence, the plant will be under shutdown until particular period. Now, it doesn't end up with that kind of information because this is descriptive information. It goes further into a predictive analytics to say that what do you need to do to react to this description, this situation? It says to you, well, Mr. Dev, you have a single source dependency from the supplier for these materials, and you're only covered until June this year. You need to plan a risk mitigation exercise. And if you don't do that, the potential loss for the organization could be around 10 million euros from a sales loss perspective because of non-availability of raw materials. For me, that's the predictive analytics that AI can bring to the table. So descriptive to say that, look, there is a crisis coming in. Predictive, to say that these are the kind of options that you could work on, is a powerful kind of reimagining solution that I could see when you have AI kind of tools supporting you in your day to day. I would take a pause, Surat, to see if that resonates with what you are looking for. More than happy to deep dive further at some point of time. But just as a high level, I wanted to share how this can be a powerful enabler for us in our day to day exercise.
No, I think, Dev, I completely agree that the supply risks which are faced by the companies in today's disruptive environments, we have seen so many wars. I mean, we never thought that in 2024, 2023, 2022, we will have the wars at the scale at which we have been seeing, which is completely disrupting the supply chain. In fact, prior to that, we had an event of COVID, which was the whole world got standards. Now, those risks somewhere, you need an early warning system. Obviously, nobody had predicted COVID, so one can't have the warning system. But if the risk elements are identified in terms of the supplier locational risk, those risks which could have been there could have been a strategy to mitigate those risks to a certain extent. So I think it's a great case study, and what you have visualized, the solution, I think it's only highlights AI's immense potential in procurement. Not only that, but I feel like it's a tangible, achievable reality. It's a very realistic case study, case which you have reflected. Dave, you've been an incredible speaker, and I sincerely thank you for sharing such a valuable insight with us today. Your depth of experience and practical perspective have made this session truly enriching. undeniably AI is undeniably transforming the way we source, spend, and strategize. In today's fast-paced business environment, staying competitive requires embracing smarter, faster, and more efficient procurement practices. Having just heard you share an impactful use case on how AI can mitigate the supply risk or maybe minimize the supply risk, we now want to take this discussion a step forward and showcase how AI-driven insights can empower decision making and enhance negotiation. With that, I'd like to welcome my colleague, Karnik, who will walk us through a live demonstration of AI integration with Vendex. We call this Vendex Genie, your smart AI assistant, or better yet, your intelligent co-pilot, designed to mine data and deliver actionable insight that drive better procurement outcomes. Karnik, over to you.
Thank you so much, Surit. Thank you so much, Dev, for insightful session. Going ahead, let's directly shift to the demo of my Dex Trini. Sharing my screen, just tell me when it is visible. It's coming now, right? Visible?
Yeah.
It must be visible. Yeah. So there's a normal login screen of Vendex where we are enabling the Genie as a spend assistant to the buyers. This is the Genie logo at the bottom corner. Just gonna click on it. So this is your spend assistant. Now start with a basic question. Hi, hello, like a human does it. Yes, it
We are
can do it.
not
Now
able to
let's,
see, it's yet coming.
okay.
It's
Tell me
not
when it's
there.
visible.
No, it's not yet.
I can see the screen, I mean, the Vendex tool screen. I'm not sure if you're referring to that or something else.
No, it's the, okay. Now we are able to see Vendex Genie.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start with the second question. What can you
The
do?
first question, it's taking time to appear on the screen. You might be able to see it, but it's taking little time to appear. So the
Okay.
first question, the answer to the first question is not there on the screen. I
I'll
hope
just
everybody.
reshare the screen. I'll just reshare the screen once again. It's maybe an issue of time lag. Reshare the screens. Please update when it's visible. Shall we start? Is it visible?
Yeah,
Palak?
Karnik, it's visible.
Yes, Karnik.
Okay. So I'm starting with one question, normal. Hi. So let's see. How does it take the question? Yes, it answered. How can I help you analyze procurement spend data today? Let's go with further. What can you do? So I want to know what actually it can does for me apart from doing a spend. Okay, it answered. It can assist with analyzing procurement spend data on the platform, offering insights into spend patterns, payment terms, price trends, cost optimization, and asking me if I can do specific analysis for me. So since it is a spend agent, let's ask about some question on the spend only. Share spend wise top 10 items. Let's see how it takes this question. I'm just trying to get if it can summarize data available with him on the platform and give me a data on the top 10 items based on the summary of spend. Yes, it can. I'm maximizing it for the users. It is able to give me a data and it is giving me a top 10 items as I asked with the spend available. One is corrugate plain ship with 1 crore 35 lakh 31,000. Another is again a 3-ply transshipment. These are all packaging material data listed with the top 10 spend items. It also provides you to take the dump into an Excel file. You can download this data into an Excel. It enables you to give a graphical representation, which also you can change. So this is all AI driven data available to the users whenever they want it. On a click, they can have it and they can update it. Now, as we have spend by top 10 items, let's get deeper into the spend data itself. Let's see if it can answer share weighted average rate, maximum price, minimum price for the same set of items. So I'm trying to deep dive into the same use case and asking the questions about the weighted average rate, maximum price, minimum price for the same set of items. So I can relate the spend with the other available informations. So yes, it's going to deep dive in the data. It has given me the weighted average rate for the same set of items, maximum price, and the minimum price. Now, from the
You
data, we
got to
can see
scroll
there
it up,
has.
Karnik.
Okay.
You got to scroll it up. We're still
Yeah.
getting the screen.
Okay. So the data represents the 10 data. We can see the weighted average rate, maximum price, and the minimum price. I can see on the second item where there is a huge deviation in maximum price and the minimum price. So let's get deep dive into the specific item, the corrugate shipper S19 PTD packaging and the specifications, where weighted average rate is 45 for 45.55. The maximum price is 69 and mean price is 42. So there is a huge deviation in mean price and max price. So if we can go deeper into a specific item, I'll ask share vendor wise weighted average rate for the item, same item. So I'm going deeper. If this weighted average rate was limited to a specific vendor or it is the set of vendors which are having this item differentiation. So if you're able to see, give me 5 vendors where the weighted average rate, which having a high deviation is strong packaging limited, 69.46, where others are contained with the same weighted average rate, which was available as an item weighted average rate. So now let's deep dive for the vendor wise spend. Let's ask share vendor wise spend, which is above the weighted average rate of the item. I would like to see if it can understand and give me answer for the vendor wise spend, which is above the weighted average rate of the same item. So the question over here is I'm trying to get if the vendor with the highest weighted average rate was given the most spend pie or it was in a balanced manner. If I can see, yes, there was a spend given to it. It was, but it is not so much. So yes, the buyer has done a justice to it. Like Strong Packaging Limited has an average rate of 61.46, but it was given a spend of 2 crore 22 lakhs, which is above the weighted average rate. So now we have spent, we have went to weighted average rate, we went to maximum price, we went to minimum price, we checked with the vendor wise spend. Now let's go to some creativity. Can you recommend best price, quantity, payment term, and vendor for the same item. Let's see what it has to represent. So yes, it is giving the best price, like this is the best price, the quantity which can be offered and payment term which can be offered, and also the vendor. So it has related the above analysis available with him and the data on the platform to recommend that this is the vendor with which we can negotiate further on the best price, quantity, and payment terms. Yes. Over to you, Surid and Palak.
Yeah, thanks, Karnik, for the insightful demonstration of Vendex Genie. Due to time constraints, we have only provided a glimpse of what Vendex Genie can do. This powerful AI-driven assistant offers comprehensive spend analysis, delivers strategic insights, predicts price trends, and help procurement professionals design data-driven negotiation strategies. If you'd like to explore Vendex Genie in more detail, we'd be happy to take you through a personalized deep dive. Please drop your email and contact details in the chat, and one of our representatives will get in touch to answer your queries and schedule a detailed demo. We look forward to helping you unlock the full potential of AI in procurement. Now, while we truly appreciate the enthusiasm and engagement from everyone, we have received a number of insightful questions. And while we may not have the time to address all of them during this session, let me assure you we'll try and take as many as questions as we can. And we would be responding to the rest within 24 hours of this webinar. The first question, let me dive in. Can the genie suggest items where I should go for contract and why?
Okay.
Karnik, can you
Yes,
reflect
I'm
on this?
trying with, can you recommend? Okay. Can you share? Okay, let me drop it.
Maybe you
Can
could
you share?
pick up from the
Just the,
items, which is what the spend is
yes,
high.
yes, yes. Which can be converted to contracts. And also suggest, I'm keeping it open, also suggest reason. I'm asking him also to reason the same. Let's see. Is able to understand the question as the context was already given in the same session. It is recommending that the items with multiple vendors, number of vendors 4, like 5 ply ship, total spend is 76 lakh 14,000, and this is the other 84 lakh 82,000, and then number of vendors fine. Insights recommendation. Supplier optimization, it is recommending for both products, you are purchasing from range of vendors. That would give you leverage in negotiating better terms with suppliers. Consider evaluating the performance and terms offered by supplier to consider your spend with fewer high-performing vendors. It is also recommending on cost-saving opportunities. By considering suppliers for these items, we can negotiate vendor volume discounts, improve contractual terms leading to potential savings. Assess if there is any brand loyalty programs or rebates that can be beneficial. Spend is considered with the supplier. It is also going ahead with the spend and procurement strategy. The significant spend on the items suggests they are critical to your operations, possibly justify strategic partnership with key suppliers to improve supply chain reliability and cost effectiveness. Consider analytics tool to monitor price trends for this material, which help in forecasting future procurement trends and secure better terms in upcoming negotiations. It is also recommending on supplier performance analysis. It is suggesting to perform a detailed supplier performance to identify which vendors meet quality, delivery, and cost criteria, which will support effective supplier relation management and drive improvements in procurement operations. So yes, it's recommended 2 items by which we can do it.
There is one more question, which is on for which of the above items there is a high risk pertaining to its vendors.
Which of Just a second, for which of the above top 10 spend items there is high risk?
pertaining to its vendor?
Into its vendor. Let's ask. It gives an answer by identifying the list which have a high vendor list, defining by having two or fewer vendors available. So it is understanding that these are the items where there are less sources or resources available, and hence, in case of non-availability of these vendors, there can be higher risk of supply chain disruptions as the dependence is only one or two vendors. So it recommended to seven from the top 10 items, whether it one or two. So rest three items are having more than two vendors.
Okay, there is a question from the audience that how about the confidentiality of the data stored in the tool? How long the tool is accessible? Is there a provision to append the data to existing data and refresh the content? The answer to the first question is that there is an absolute confidentiality of the data which is stored here, and we can, in a detailed discussion, shows that how architecture is designed to protect your data, as well as what kind of confidentiality which is of this data is being maintained by us. Two, that the tool is accessible till the you use the till the pendency of the use of Vendex. And yes, the data gets dynamically appended as you spend on Vendex. This is automatically appended, and there is also history which is maintained of all your previous queries which you have put on the spend analysis. So Karnik has just changed the screen to show that entire history of the previous chat which is there with the Vendex Genie and the responses. All of this information is available. In case if you are not satisfied with the response, because I mean, this is something which is where any AI tool would sometimes get into some kind of a complexity. You can give a thumbs down and give us the reason so we can improvise them on the training and subsequently try and meet your expectation. Um, One more thing which is also important that these data is actually created on Vendex. It is purified. So our data scientists have created a structure which is it gets purified to give the responses the way it is giving. And I would rather like to take up right now one more question, which is maybe Dave, you might like to answer this. Many AI tools in procurement promise to deliver transformative results, but adoption often lags due to complexity or lack of integration with existing systems. How does Vendex Genie, sorry, I'll take this question, address these challenges? And can you share samples of how it has delivered measurable value to organizations? Well, that's an excellent question. And it gets to the heart of why AI adoption in procurement sometimes falls short of its promise. Many AI tools struggle because they are either overly complex, lacks proper integration with their existing workflows, or fail to address specific business needs. At Vendex, we have taken a very pragmatic approach with Genie to ensure that it doesn't just promise transformation, it delivers it in a way that's intuitive and impactful. The key is that Jenny doesn't add complexity. As you have seen, it's as simple as using a Google search. I mean, you were just typing your queries on the data in a natural language, and it was getting deeper into the data, how the Google search gets into the on the web, and then provide you the search results. Now, the only thing which is additionally which is done by Genie is that not only searches data, it also creates insights based on your query. So it's analyze the data and provides you the output. So, I mean, as I see it, and we have got a very, very good feedback from our customers that they have been actively using this Genie for their routine procurement decision making. So, I believe that if you wish to address this specific concern, if you wish to, you should experience firsthand how Vendex Genie works, and which we can show it to you at your convenience. Can be a personalized demo. You can get your hands on to see what way, what queries you want to give it to the Genie to analyze your spend. There is there is a question here that somebody who's working in SAP S4, it is reflecting, will Vendex Genie integrate with SAP HANA to work on SAP MM module for anything related to the same? As of now, no, but I think if the data of the spend moves over to Vendex, and that is a possibility that through integration this can happen. We have very robust APIs and that spend analysis, if the data is picked up, the relevant data which is needed for spend analysis picked up by Vendex, surely it can deliver the output which you desire to have it in the similar way. Now, there is one more question which is coming. Uh, Dave, do you think AI can be used for discovering new suppliers?
Thanks for that question, Surad. And my answer is absolutely yes. Before I even go and give a perspective on the topic, I would say, as a procurement professional, what is your approach towards AI or digital? Whether you're looking at it as an opportunity or whether you're looking at it as a threat. The moment you look at it as an opportunity, you will start looking at use cases and feed it back to tech companies like Mammon Vista to tell them that, look, I have this problem statement and I don't know how to solve it. Can you step in and give me a digital support in terms of figuring out navigating that problem statement? And in that context, vendor discovery is one of the problem statements we procurement professionals face time and again. I may come with 22 years of experience across global regional responsibilities, and I may have managed 50 plus material clusters across directs and indirects. But even today, I can't claim with conviction that I can give you the list of vendors required for a CapEx project which is coming up in Dahej for your manufacturing site, and you want MEP supplier partners who are reliable in the Dahej site. I would say I would shrink and I would fret and I would say, my goodness, now what do I do? How do I come back with a vendor discovery? And imagine if you look at products like Vendex Genie as your co-pilot, and it goes out in the market, does web crawling, talks to other platforms, talks to each other. There are talent marketplace concepts like vendor marketplace concepts where you can get those kind of vendor discoveries. And if these kind of data platforms talk to each other, and that's your co-pilot, I can stand confident and say that, oh, you have this kind of a requirement. This is the list of supplier partners that you could deal with. So summary, what I'm saying is, always look at these kind of digital disruptors not as disruptors but as enablers, and look at them from an opportunity perspective. Then we will start looking at how do we drive those problem statements.
Great, Dave. In fact, you hit the nail at the right spot. Our next use case, which we are working, which shortly would be launched in its beta version by end of February. This is expected to search the vendors based on various criterias. And when we launch, we would be able to more elaborate and reflect on which are the criteria, because items are known with different nomenclature. For example, I would just say caustic potash. In Middle East, it's known as potasha. It's a chemical compound. Now, when you're looking for suppliers, you want to find out that irrespective of which nomenclature is being used, so the platform needs to identify that which are the other nomenclature, which the item which you are searching. which is there, and then search through geographies which you could be interested in having the supplier. Like you mentioned about the H plant, and I think let's talk about an MRO item, which is all of a sudden your machine is gone under downtime and you're requiring two or three components on a SOS basis, and you would like to prefer a supplier which is close by, where you can quickly get the a part of those components very quickly into your plan. And this is all challenges which not only you, practically every procurement professional is having it. So and again, you want to validate the supplier's information because there's so much of information which is available on the net, but you want to make sure that the supplier is a validated supplier. So I think those are the challenges which we try to understand from the procurement professional's perspective and try to take up such use cases to build a solution leveraging AI. So, I mean, you very aptly mentioned about the what is the importance of the vendor discovery in context of the function. And fortunately, we have identified that problem area and have been currently working on those use cases. There is
Suraj,
one more question
Suraj,
which is coming.
can I
Yeah,
just
please.
comment on that? I just want to
Sure.
tell you that you can count on me as an eager procurement professional to test out your beta case, because
Thank you
that's
very much.
going to support my team's self-confidence in terms of vendor discovery. So more than happy to be a key active interest player for that particular use case.
Perfect, perfect. And we would love to have you as one. There is one more case that can AI be used for contract drafting and contract compliance? Would you like to take on this?
I mean, interesting question. And I just go back again to my live use case when I was in Germany for 4 years. I had a responsibility of 250 million euros spend of indirects across countries. And especially when it comes to global way of looking at topics, legal paper contracts are one of those important aspects of a procurement professional to drive across. The biggest challenge is I'm not a legal guy. I do not understand legal language. I do not understand implications of contracts across various markets. Time and again, every country comes with new regulatory frameworks, and that needs to be figured into your contract. Whether you will have a paper contract across all your middle clusters, because that is going to eat away a lot of bandwidth, or whether you will focus only on those big ticket spend items or security of supply risks where you will put up a paper contract. What is it where you have to prioritize? These are the kind of questions that you go when you go back end of the day and take rest. This is what backfires you in the morning because you don't have answers for these questions. And imagine if you look at a digital enabler like Vendex Genie or an AI tool, which is your co-pilot, you don't have to be in Germany to drive Germany sourcing or be in Chennai to drive a manufacturing automobile sourcing for an automobile company. You become a industry agnostic, market agnostic procurement professional because you have a co-pilot which is able to feed you with all these kind of information and able to give you a prescriptive mode saying that this is the potential legal contract template that you need to use for this particular market for this particular IT software related sourcing that you want to do. Now, of course, this is where the learning journey comes. Probably you will have a template where you will say, as per my wish list, based on rich expertise in this category by various sources, the best legal paper contract template has to be in this format. And then this AI application tools go and do the matchmaking between what the vendor has offered and what this is particular template is offering and support you with any kind of red flags or watchouts that you need to be mindful of in screening a paper contract. I'm not saying something new. These kind of product tools are also available in the market at this point of time. The point I'm trying to say is again and again, bring back strong use cases to these tech companies who will support you, enable you in figuring out how that can be fixed and enabled through a digital tool. So to answer your question, Suraj, as I said, more than happy and eager to have such kind of a solution because that's exactly what my current pain point is. And I do not want the procurement functional cost to expand and end up having too many FTEs looking into too many dedicated subject matter expertise. I want to make them as much as possible functional domain expertise and they figure out the information from the ecosystem. And in that context, digital enablers are a powerful tool.
I think very well said. And Dave, in fact, we are always looking for procurement professional like you to help us identify your challenges, to work on a very directional way on the right challenges to try and get to the solution, which is going to help people in the procurement profession. One more question which is asked is what is the key differentiator of Vendex from its competitors? Well, I think uh, since we represent Vendex, I mean, I would like to generalize my answers to this. The one, it's a ease of use. Two, I believe that we are one of the first to launch the AI use case, which can be used practically by the procurement professional. Three, Vendex is a comprehensive APIs, which is very robust to integrate, and which is where it makes Vendex ERP neutral. So if we have to talk to your ERPs, it seamlessly talks. It's fully configurable, so map with your business processes, your business complexity, and its architecture is robust to take up niche valued customization, which kind of enhances its value to a different extent. This is, as rightly mentioned by Dave in the beginning, that the journey we started with Bayer Crop Science, and we have learned a lot from Bayer Crop Science when we started building up this journey. So the practices which we follow, the procurement practices, which is highly compliant, although robust, and ensuring some of the best practices which are followed in the domain. So having said that, these are the areas which is where Vendex differentiates from its competitors. Yes, there are list of functionalities and the workflows, the configurable workflows, which is where Vendex can create a significantly large value to meet different compliance requirement of different organizations. Um, so, I mean, these are the generic points which I thought that I would highlight for as a differentiator to the Vendex.
So can
I have,
I
yeah,
add
sorry.
on that what you asked if it's okay for you?
Please, please.
Uh, One of the most important differentiator that I came across when in 2006 when we partnered in terms of steering this digital transformation project, the speed and agility in which Maven Vista was able to understand the customer needs and bring back customizing the product without compromising on the foundational architecture, but having that customization adapted to the unmet needs is something which I found unique about the organization. And I will share an example here to explain why I'm saying this. As rightly highlighted by Suraj, any technological tool, adoption rate is the key. And adoption is absolutely dependent on the user experience. And in case of procurement, we're talking about two types of users. One is the sourcers who do day-to-day hands-on ground level experience, and the supplier partners who also have to adopt to use a technology. The key there is how easy it is for them to use and how are the different sources in which they can use. I will quickly share an example here. We had an unmet need. We said way back in 2006, we said that we have purchase orders that needs to be released by managers and they are traveling across. How do you expect them to come to a website and issue and understand the RFQ and then issue a purchase order and release it? They don't have time for that because they need to spend time on strategic supplier negotiations. We ideated that. We brainstormed it and we said, why is it necessary that you have to come to a portal? Why can't we send them an SMS in their BlackBerry? And in those days we had BlackBerry, and they have to just release the purchase order with the key details of the purchase order number and the value, and whether they have to say yes or no. And once they say yes or no, back in the ERP system, the purchase order gets released and goes to the next step. For me, that was a wow moment. It's it's those kind of unmet needs that a technology partner, if they are able to solve without compromising on the architecture, without ensuring that the framework of the digital landscape is not compromised, that would enable adoption. So just want to complement that unique value proposition that Suraj and teams brings to the table as a live example that I have experienced.
Thanks for sharing this, Dave, very rightfully so, because I think that's the success story which we have consistently been maintaining since 2006. Yours was the um, first implementation which we went through. But today we are very confidently able to say that we have literally 100% success in every implementation which we have carried out. I think it's primarily working very, very closely with the customer as their true partners, understanding their pain area, trying to build up mechanism to and handle change, which is going to get major change which will come in the function in terms of the way the function is being carried out, how to handhold those users very effectively to bring about this transition. So it's a kind of dependency of use. It's a kind of the true partnership concept with which we work with our customers. So that's one of the major differentiator between us and the many of the competitors. There is one more question, which is in context, the same gentleman has put up that I wanted to understand that since SAP S/4HANA presently works on Fiori and tiles, and it will very easily be able to give the spend analysis that we want to work on, or any other MIS reports that you wish, then in that case, what would be the Vendex Genie value addition? Very, very interesting question. I think you don't require an expertise to work with Flory or tiles. Vendex Genie talks to you in your natural language. You are not required to, like one of the thing which is what Karnik presented, a weighted average and the lowest and the highest rate, summary of this coming up in 20 seconds. In context of that, you have one other question which is relevant to the spend, which is higher than the weighted average. You want to see whether the compliance, whether the certain vendor is being given a preference. You want to identify the risk factor. Yes, this Flory and tiles are great product, but the usability of that is something which needs to be determined. Will it be able to, on the fly, deliver the results which are based on your thought process? When you think about something in a situation and you want to get insight in relevant to that thought, that is where the Vendex Genie plays the role. So yeah. So I believe that is going to be a major differentiator, the ease of use and the convenience which you have as a user, which we believe would be the differentiator between the standard tools which are available, although they are very good tools, robust tool, but this is something which is where the AI plays a very, very important role, and the training and the data quality which plays a very important role to give you the output, the manner in which you wish to have it. There is one more question that can we search new vendors required for certain projects? As we have shared with you that you'll be able to search vendors based on items which you would be interested in buying for your new projects, because that is what one of the challenge which even they reflected in terms of the suppliers requirement, that you are setting up a new project in a specific location and you are looking at vendors for different items which are required. So definitely yes, the that would be happening as we shared that by February end, we are launching our pilot for doing this. Um, how does the output of Vendex be transformed into a PDF or slides for business review? Great. That's what the facility which is already have Vendex Genie is having. You can take a snapshot and your Karnik is just showing that. You can take a snapshot and use it for your presentation.
Yes, you can use it as a presentation or download this file, download the PNG image. You can highlight something and download it. Excel is already available. So yes, this is available.
So we do have many more questions since because of the paucity of time, we would be responding these to these questions within the next 24 hours. As we come to an end of this insightful session, I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to each one of you for taking your time and joining us and actively participating. Your curiosity, engagement, and thought-provoking questions are what drive innovations. And we would sincerely request each one of you to continue to engage with us in seeking, posing your challenges and see if we can get to the solution to your challenges, because that also gives us a direction to work. We work on your direction, whatever solutions which we try to evolve. That is primarily we understand your challenges, your problem, and then try to use technology to get to the solution. Uh, Before we sign off, I would like you to share your feedback, because your insight will help us refine and improve future sessions. You can sign up for our upcoming webinar, so keep a check on your mailbox. And any case, if you wish to know more about Vendex Genie or would like to try your hands on Vendex Genie, please do drop your email and contact details so that our team can get in touch with you to take you through that personal experience. A recording of today's session will be shared with you soon, so keep an eye on your inbox. Thank you all and wish you all a great day ahead.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you, Surit and team. Thanks all.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.